What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys spoiler, their version of Breakdown. So this is the second in the line of Stunticons from FansToys. FansToys is actually kind of going in the reverse of X-transbots. X-transbots started with the Carbots, and then they made their Motormaster, whereas FansToys made the Motormaster, and then now they're making the rest of the Carbots. Just a spoiler alert, there are no combiner parts in this. There's not really any reveal of how this thing combines. There's a little bit, and I'll show that a little bit later, but other than that one little thing, there really is no information about how it combines. So you do have some really nice artwork here. Love Iohannes' work. He's on DeviantArt. He does all the FansToys boxes. Once again, he's done a great art. I saw him actually post this on Facebook, so that's cool. Nothing on the side here, nothing really on the top. Another animation there of the car. In the back, you've got some product images. He's got some really nice articulation. We'll take a look at that. Vehicle mode and robot mode. That's really it. Nothing really on the top or bottom, just that image. So let's get this box out of here and take a look at the figure. Here we have Spoiler in his vehicle mode. He does come packaged in robot mode, so I'm actually going to go from vehicle to robot just because that's how I like to do my reviews. But it's pretty fluid transformation. There's a little bit of stuff. There's some things that are hard to get apart, but let's take a quick look. So here's the front, and I do have these popped open. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Here's the side. Here's the back. You've got some really nice headlights or taillights there. They look beautiful. There's a bunch of features in here. You do need a spudger if you're going to try to get these things open. They're very small. These headlights do pop up, and you've got those translucent, clear, headlights there, and those look really good. You also have this hood that pops up like that, so you can basically have the trunk open. On Lamborghinis, this is actually the trunk, not the hood, but it's just a cool little thing. I mean, and then you can actually open the door. So if you stick your finger, let's see out there. If you stick your finger right here, you can get these doors open. And actually, that's how you get this popped up. So if it does get stuck, because everything, the tolerances are beautifully done, but it makes things hard to open. So if it does get stuck, you want to take a spudger and kind of get it in between here. And then once you pop up this roof, you can get in here and get this popped up from here. So things are definitely tight on this, but I'd prefer tight than to be loose. I don't like when the tolerances are too loose. So I think this is a well done, well toleranced figure. So all those features aside, the only other thing you can do is you can put the weapons on. I'm going to leave those headlights up because they're just such a pain to get popped up. And it just looks beautiful with it, so I'm going to leave it. They've got some nice translucent plastic there. But you can take the gun that's in robot mode and you can mount it here. And it just kind of pegs right in, right there. That's really it. And it looks fine. The thing rolls really well. It's a solid chunk of metal. Look at the bottom. There's not really anything to complain about in terms of robot kibble. It's very clean and it just looks awesome. So overall, all around, very nice looking. Let's bring in some robots for comparison. It's the Takara Masterpiece Sideswipe in vehicle mode, and he is about the same height or length, I guess. Let's just move back here. So pretty much the same height, a tiny bit wider. I would say a smidge wider, if anything, but pretty much the same as Sideswipe. I guess his nose is a little bit wider. Same length. The height is a tiny bit higher, and it's hard to show that to you, but it is just a hair taller than Sideswipe. So there he is with Sideswipe. Everybody wants to see the X-transbots crack up their version of Breakdown, and he's quite a bit bigger than the crack up. Just for comparison, you can see crack up is actually even smaller than the Sideswipe in terms of width. But these guys, definitely the same height again, or the same length. Width-wise, though, this guy's a lot wider. He's also much heavier. Let's take a quick look. So the FansToys spoiler comes in at 11 1/4. The X-transbots version of breakdown comes in at almost 7 ounces. So quite a bit heavier in terms of the FansToys version. For the sake of completeness, the Takara Tomy version comes in at 4.5 ounces. So being the lightest of the three, it's a lot less diecast. So that's really it for vehicle mode. I definitely am a fan of the vehicle. Actually, one thing we didn't show is the paint is this pearl white. So it's got this metallic fleck in it. And it's very hard to show on camera, but the blue and the white both have metallic. The hood is not painted. This is just a flat red plastic. But everything else is painted. The silver back here. Oh, we did forget to talk about, there's 2 sets of exhausts here. But the silver is painted. All the blue is painted, metallic blue. All the white's painted. The windows are all translucent black. And then you got some black paint here. So lots and lots of paint. Really beautiful. But that's really it for vehicle mode. So we're going to get this guy transformed into robot mode. Okay, so I'm trying to make this as smooth as possible. There's a lot of interesting steps. It's not too difficult to transform, but you do want to kind of do it in order. So first thing I do is I pop one of these doors, and you need to get this windshield up. But in order to get it up, it's hard to pop it with your finger. So what I do is I stick a spudger in between. Now it's popped up. You can see that. Put the door back down, and now you can lift this up and give yourself some room. Next, you want to separate. You can actually fold this all the way up like this. So it's out of the way. Just be very careful here. You want to just give it some room when you bend it up and down, so you're not, basically rubbing off the paint there. But you can push it in and then avoid contacting there. All right, so now that you have that up, you can basically separate these sides. And again, you're going to need a spudger because things are really tight here. I use one of these little wide ones to get it in there. And you're going to basically try to separate this whole piece. And you can kind of get this in here and get it separated. And it is tight. All of the tolerances on here are really nice, but it's tight. So you gotta use a tool. Otherwise, it's going to be very hard for you to separate. So same on this side. You want to separate this piece. And again, it's very, very tight. So once you get a little crack, you can use the spudger to get the rest out. Okay, so now you can see I've separated both sides. I did have both sides. There you go. Now we can separate this part here. You can put these headlights back down for now. We don't need those anymore. You can pop these up too. So now that we've separated that, you're going to fold this down. And again, you need a spudger. So you're going to pop this piece right here. You also fold this port up, and that's going to give you a little space to rotate this up. Sorry, I forgot about that. Now, rotate this up, and that's going to give you some space. Just leave this up for now. All right, so now that we've folded it up, we can fold out the legs. So fold this part out. This is all part of the legs. And again, use a spudger to pop those out. Okay, those do tab in. See, there's a tab right there that goes into here. So everything's nice and tight on this. All right, so now that you've gotten that, we can kind of take care of the rest of the legs. So give yourself a little room to work. You're going to fold this down and move this to the side like this. Fold this down. Okay. And now you can work on the rest of the leg. So we'll do one at a time just so that you can see it. I'm probably going to just film one and then I'll cut to the other one. All right, next you want to rotate this wheel to the other side. So it's sitting like that on the inside of the car. And then this whole thing's going to come and meet over here. All right, so you want to make sure you have this panel folded out. First, fold this door all the way down, fold this panel in, and it should actually peg in there on the bottom, just like that. And if you got it right, it should all peg in. If you don't have it right, things will be popped out. So again, fold this door in, peg that in, and that holds everything together. Okay, now rotate this entire assembly to the other side, and you really have to have everything straight in order for this to fit properly. So it should look like something like that, nice and straight. All right, so rotate this to the other side, and then peg it in right there. You can rotate this down, so it sits like that, basically backwards. Rotate this foot down like this. And now you've got one leg all done. And pretty smooth. We'll do this one off camera and get back to the transformation. Alright, continuing on with the transformation, we have both legs all done. Next you want to get this arms out here, and it is really tight in there, so you kind of got to work at it, but you really want to separate this from the body, and that's what's challenging. You got to get in there, but you want to pull this away from the body, and it's tight, so you got to work at it. And you can see this panel is kind of pegged in back here, so make sure you get that out, and then you can pull the whole thing out like that, so it separates from the body. So same on this side, get that all untabbed and pulled away, and then use this joint. Make sure you get this tab out so you don't break it. Use that joint to pull it out to the side. Okay, now we'll leave the arms for now. Let's work on the chest. So you're going to pull these out. These are the chest pieces, and that kind of releases this to be opened outwards. Pull this down, that's his head. Now you can work on the back. So open up the back, just leave that up for now. Fold these out first, right here. And again, if you need a tool, use a tool. And then fold these outwards. Okay. Now you can kind of put it all back together. Oh no, I'm sorry. You got to put this in here. And that folds right in there nicely, cleanly. Now you can put this chest piece together. And it is all going to tab together. It's kind of tricky to show, so let me see if I can get the arms out of the way. Okay. Make sure you have these all the way open. And you are going to basically tab this and this into the front on both sides. Okay. And it is like almost a perfect fit, so you kind of got to get it exactly right. It's not, the tolerances are very, very tight. Okay, same on this side. Make sure you have it all pegged in. And you should feel it kind of go together. Okay. We do have this backwards, so this is part of the transformation. You got to pull these up. Oh, you know what? We forgot one thing. These little bits are kind of annoying, but basically you're going to rotate this up and out at the same time. You can get them in there. The clearance there is not right. You should probably do this before you did the top part. And again, this is really tight, so you really want to do this before you put the top part in. But you can fold it until you can get it in there, and then it doesn't come back out. So flip up all these hip panels here. Okay, I'll leave these here for now. Now you're going to rotate, and this middle panel too. Make sure you get that one, because that one's the clip that holds this in place. It's got that tab hole right there. So once you have that, rotate this bottom part, not the top part, the bottom part all the way around so that the tab comes to the other side. So now you've got the legs in the right direction. Now you can close this down. This tab holds the entire waist piece, and then you can put these rear hip skirts down. And we're almost at the home stretch here, so now you want to take care of the arms. So you're basically going to unfold them like this, rotate them around, unfold it, rotate it around. You want to take care of these pieces here, so it's easiest if you have it away from the body, but you can basically have that rotated. that, and that kind of hides it. Same on this side. We tip that away, and you're going to flip that around so that you end up with the short side on top. Sorry, that was, the orientation wasn't great there. Oh, this came popped out. Okay. And the last thing is the hands. The hands are a little bit interesting, but they're okay. Pop this panel open. Again, you might need a tool. So I'm trying to show this here. So you gotta fold these fingers down first. Then you can fold the hand out. Then you can close this up. You got to do that sequence, otherwise it won't actually be able to come out. And then rotate the hand. Same on this side. Open up the panel. Fold the fingers in. Fold the hand out. And it is a pretty tight joint there. There you go. Close this up. Rotate the arm back down. Rotate the hand. Get them all situated. And there you have FansToys spoiler in his robot mode. And it looks pretty good. So here's the front. He's got some details inside of that chest. Let's take a look at that. There's his chest plate. There's that head sculpt. He does come with an alternate head sculpt. We'll take a look at that in a few minutes. But let's take a quick look around the robot. And here's the, I guess the shot that people aren't liking is the side view. Me personally, I have no problem. People complain if it has a backpack, and then they complain if it doesn't have a backpack. So to me, it's fine. I don't care. It looks fine to me. It looks really clean and nice. There's no junk back here. The only junk back here is these hood pieces, which I don't seem to mind at all. You do have the doors, which end up acting as heel spurs, because I was wondering where the heel spurs on this robot, but there are no heel spurs. These end up acting as the heel spurs. So here's the back. Overall, very, very clean robot. Pretty hefty kind of guy. We did take his weight when we were in vehicle mode. So let's take a look at articulation. So first, the head is on a rotating swivel. It's a very interesting joint, actually. It gets you a lot of up, plenty of down. Well, a little bit of down, but enough for me. Rotates all the way around. Yeah, rotates all the way around. You just got to clear some stuff, but you can rotate it. The arms are on a couple of joints here. So first, you probably want to just get those onto the side so they're not flopping around, because they will interfere if you have them out. So they do rotate all the way around on a ratchet. They rotate up like this. If you have it slightly cocked, it won't go up. You have to have it straight, or you have it all the way back like that. You can have it basically out that way, but you can't have it partially out. You got to have it straight back or straight up, which is fine. You get double jointed elbow all the way up to there, plenty of movement there. You do have the typical FansToys hands here with the 2 joints on each finger. Each finger is individually articulated, which is nice. And then the thumb is on a little ball joint. Let's take a look at the weapon. Every other FansToys release, it tabs into the hand, and it's very, very secure. It's not going anywhere. Looks very good. It is painted this metallic blue, the same blue that's on the legs, so that looks good. Let's just rotate that down for now. The hands do rotate. I forgot to mention that. You do have a waist swivel and an ab crunch, so you get pretty much all the way around. It's clear up to there. You'd never really want to turn it to there, but you can. You also have ab crunch. Now it is kind of a tight little lock here, so you gotta free the lock. It does tend to push these out of the way, so I try to like rotate these just a little bit so that they hold. Okay, and so you do get all of that ab crunch. You can get a little bit too. It is actually ratcheted, so there's one ratchet there, one click, and then the next one's down there. So that's nice. I mean, you get plenty of ratchet. It's fine. So you can lock that back in, and now all these pieces are locked in. It's not going anywhere. So I really like that ratchet joint. It's just clean. It's nice. It works. I have no problem with that. Oh, I forgot this. You have a bicep swivel there that I didn't mention. Moving along, you do have hip skirts here that rotate up and out of the way, so you can get all the way back to there. Not quite 90. 90 for sure on the front. On ratchets, you have a friction joint out to the side. It is hindered a little bit by this, but it's okay. You do have a rotation at the thigh, pretty much as much as you need. Nice bend at the knee all the way, double jointed as far as you could possibly want it. Some of that might be due to just the fact that his profile is very thin, but I don't have any problem with that at all. And then moving on to the feet, you do have ankle tilt, ankle pivot. There's a double joint. There's a joint here and a joint here. So you can get this up like that. You can have a rotation like that. So everything you would possibly want in that ankle. I like to put a little bit forward so that he gets a little bit more feet in the front. And then this acts as a heel spur. It's not articulation, but it does act as a heel spur. You have a lot of nice paint on here. All of the arms and legs are all painted. I believe they're die cast. This feels like die cast. There's die cast in the feet. There's die cast in the arms and legs. I mean, it's just covered with die cast. And it's beautiful. I mean, it looks great. This waist piece is die cast. This gray is all painted. The blue is all painted. The head and face are all painted. You do get a nice face sculpt. Let's get in close on the face sculpt so you can take a look. And that is really a good looking face sculpt. I think they did a great job with that. Just nails it for me. I love this translucent thing, just a little added touch. I don't even think that was in the cartoon, but I'm okay with it. I like little stuff like that. I like when X-transbots does it too, but I like when FansToys takes a little bit of liberty and puts some adult looking features like that in there. You know, it's not like the cartoon, but it just adds that nice touch. So that's everything for the robot mode in terms of articulation. We do have one other accessory, and that's the alternate face, so we'll take a look at that. The alternate yelling face, and that looks really good. They both have the painted purple eyes. It's actually very easy to change the face sculpt. You just you need a tool or something, but you can just pop this off right here, and that pops the face off, and then you can switch it back. So very easy. I thought it was going to be a screw, but it's not. So very nice feature. So let's take a look at a few comparisons with some other figures. With the FansToys Motormaster, and that looks really good together. He's pretty tall. Just for comparison, here he is with the X-transbots version, and obviously these were never meant to go together. This is a bigger scale. Here he is with the Make Toy Seekers. I know this is not mass-produced, it's third party, but they are about the same height. So just a little bit, well, almost exactly the same. I was going to say a little bit taller, but they're just about the same. Final thoughts wise, I definitely recommend this figure. It's very clean. It's got a lot of paint and die cast. It just feels very high quality when you're playing with it, when you're messing with it. It feels like something really premium. It doesn't feel the same as the X-transbots. And this was good. This was a good release, solid release for X-transbots. But when you pick up the two and you touch it and you handle it and you transform it, it really just feels like this is in a different class than the X-transbots. We have no idea what the combined mode is going to be, so I can't even speak to that. I can't say which one's going to be better combined. I'm hoping they're both good, but we'll never know until we see the actual Motormaster and the combiner parts. Now, FansToys hasn't given us any combiner parts or any information about how these things actually combine, so we can't speak to that just yet. But if this is the quality level that they're going to be building for their robots or their car bots, I think I'm in on all of these. I'm going to get all of these FansToys car bots. So that's really it. I definitely recommend it. I'm going to be in for both lines, so I'm going to continue with these comparisons. So as the FansToys figures are released, you will continue to go through and show them with the X-transbots, and we'll finally, when we get all of the figures, we'll do the combined mode, so you can see both in combined mode and the comparison between those two. But until then, this is all we can go off of. For me, I prefer the FansToys version. I know it's a little bit bigger and it's a little bit skinnier, but for my sensibilities, I prefer this. A lot of people are going to stick with this. It's got a really good price point. This is about $100. This is, I think it was 60, or maybe 70. I think it was 60 or 70. And the later releases were a little bit more. So this first bot was definitely cheaper, and a lot of people jumped on it because of the price and because of what it is for that price. So value-wise, it's hard to say. You're probably getting a little bit more value here, but then again, you got a bigger bot. You got the same accessories. You're not really getting anything extra in terms of accessories. So hard to say. It really depends on what you like, what your preferences are, and what size you want, whether you like this kind of paint or this color. But I'll say for me, this is what I like. So that's really it, guys. Thanks for watching. We will continue with our other reviews. I have a few figures that are kind of older that have been sitting on the back burner until we got this thing done. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.